This isn't Madison Square Garden. These drills probably won't make anyone a #1 draft pick. But these players are practicing for something important. While they work on their jump shots, they're also learning teamwork, discipline, self-confidence, how to deal with wins and losses. Skills that will make them winners long after they leave the court. Support high school activities in your community, because when kids take part, they get set for life.
Barrett Cohen for the first edition. I've been waiting for this all year long. It's the first edition of Inside the Huddle. This is exciting. And now, Brett, this is your first one. But I got to tell you, we've gotten a lot of good feedback in the past. For those that perhaps may have never heard of what this is basically an opportunity for us to go inside the huddle to talk about maybe something that your lay football fan might not have knowledge of. It's a chance that we break down one aspect of the game. And here in the first Inside the Huddle, we're going to talk about 7-on-7s, Brett, the history of perhaps and your involvements of it and such. So talk a little bit about your experience with 7-on-7.
Well, Barrett, you kind of go back from years ago, back when I was a player, and I hate to talk about glory days and all that, but 7-on-7 was unheard of. And we're talking back in 89, 90, those years when I was in high school and when you were at the same time, 7-on-7 was unheard of. You didn't do it. And I think it kind of goes back to how the whole concept of two-a-days has changed. And I think because of the evolution of 7-on-7 camps and practices and tournaments and all that in the summer, that has had a direct trickle-down effect on how two-a-day practices are conducted these days.
Talk a little bit about just the physical demand of a 7-on-7 practice. You think, okay, just helmets, it's not that physical. I'm watching Derek Keith, Brandon Walsh, and some of these guys coming off the field, Isaiah Fuller. These guys are winded. It's very up-paced, and in the heat of the 90 degrees, you throw in the heat index. This is a tremendous workout for these young men.
Oh, it absolutely is, and it kind of goes to show how football was turned into a 365 days, well, maybe 364 if we take off Christmas. But, you get my point. It's all year long. These guys are in shape. Summers used to be, lifting and running, and then you report for two-a-days. And in two-a-days, that was when you really got in shape and you did a lot of conditioning. You put your offense in, you put your defense in. Well, now these guys know their schemes because they do it year-round. You talked about the physical demands of it. I can think back to a few years ago when I was coaching, and we would go up to Miami, up in Oxford, and you go up there on a Saturday, and you'd play basically 4 games. And I remember the structure of the game was, each team got 27 plays on offense and 27 plays on defense. Well, you would play 4 games throughout the day. And if you're a kid who plays both ways, and you start looking at taking 50 reps in a game, if you're strictly playing both ways, and then you start factoring out over 4 days in July, you're gassed when you come home. You're not going out that Saturday night. You're literally coming home and collapsing on the couch.
One thing that I've heard in the news lately is perhaps there's been I don't want to say scandal, but there's been a lot of questions raised in the media, social media, around Ohio high school football about 7-on-7. Is there too many of them? Of course, we know this is the first of many for the Lancers. What's your opinion on it? Are there too many 7-on-7s?
Well, I don't think there's too many 7-on-7s. I think what it is I think as a coach you have to be very, very cognizant of how you do things within your own program. The state of Ohio says that you get 10 days to coach your kids. Some coaches say, you know what, the linemen can get their own work in the weight room and running on the track, but the skill kids need to touch the ball. So we're going to take all 10 days before two-a-days start, typically around August 1st. We're going to take all 10 days, and we're going to do 7-on-7. So the way it's regulated is you get a day. That doesn't mean a couple hours in that day. You can go from 8 in the morning until 6 in the afternoon and be at a tournament somewhere at UC or Miami or wherever it may be, and that counts as a day. So I think from a coaching standpoint, and I know from experience, you need to spread them out because it will gas your legs. You're going to start getting back injuries and hamstrings and everything else if you don't spread them out.
How was your first experience with Inside the Huddle?
I love it.
That's an easy one. They get harder. 7-on-7's easy. We're going to go talk about the nickel packages. We'll talk about dime packages. We'll talk about the run versus pass, the 3-3-5 stack, and much more. By the end of the season, the fans of WLSN and Lancer football, they're going to be as smart as Brett Schnieber. And I'll tell you what, as we like to say in these parts, that's bigger bigger than Texas.
It's going to make me, what do you say, happier than
a June bug and a tin dipper.
Whatever that means. We'll have to ask Fritzy about that one.
Where has Fritzy been? I can't find him with a search warrant.
I saw a picture of him today on Twitter. He was
he's thinner now.
Yeah, he's thinner because I think he's sweating away all that weight down at the World Choir Games, acting like a sergeant.
We'll be back throughout the year with Inside the Huddle reports. If you have a question, you can email the broadcast team on air at LaSalleNetwork.net, or you can email me, bcohen@LaSalleHS.net, or check us out on Twitter. How about Brett Schnieber? He's got a new Twitter now, new WLSN Twitter. It's Brett_. Did I run out of time? Brett _Schnieber, the hashtag, and also you got me as well, Barrett, 2 R's, 2 T's, Barrett _Cohen. That's our Twitter hashtag. They call it hashtag, something like that. But we'll be reporting our handle. Thank you very much. Reporting live, WLSN Radio.